or the Holy Communion, some of you know it, it's also a thanksgiving occasion, right? Because we remember what Jesus did and does for us, and we are grateful for this event. So as you see here in front, we have some fruits, vegetables, some breads, and nuts, and seeds, and so on. I think most of them are edible, right? Some of them need to be prepared in order to be eaten. Right? So don't try to eat some beans because of them. Anyway. So for today I prepared a subject, a topic regarding thanksgiving and gratefulness and how we can connect this with the Lord's Supper. If you look in the Bible, I will try to be short because time runs very fast. If you look in the Bible, we have some occasions in which people were grateful or thankful for what God did for them and to them. And if we were to take a couple of examples, we will find the following. One of the examples is Hannah. She's the wife of Elkanah, we find it in the Old Testament. Hannah was barren. She could not have children, right? The other wife of Elkanah had many children. And one day, Anna went to Eli, the priest, right? And she had a request to God that if God will bless her with a child, she will give that child back to God. It's kind of ironic, We ask something from God, and when God blesses us with that thing, we promise that we will give it back. Kind of, hard to do so. But Anna decided to do so. And after she finished her prayer, her request, after some time, God answered her prayer. She gave her a child, a boy. She called him Samuel. And as she promised, she gave that child back to the Lord, bringing him to the temple to Eli, the priest back then. So her gratitude and her thankfulness was so big, so overwhelming, that even though she had to make a sacrifice, renouncing her blessing, she gave back that child. Because she was so grateful that God answered her prayer. And I'm asking me and you, when we are thankful for something, are we so thankful that we are willing to sacrifice, the blessing to show our gratitude and thankfulness to our God? This is what Hannah did. It doesn't mean that we also have to do that. But it's a way of expressing our thankfulness and our gratitude to our God. We have another example in the Bible. Some example that you already know. The people who were healed by leper. Am I saying right? Leper. Thank you. Leper. There were 10 of them. You find the situation in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17. Jesus went to that city. He healed all 10 of them, and just one came back to Jesus to thank him for what he did back then. Many times we ask God for something. We receive, he answers our requests, our prayers, and we forget to say thank you. We forget, we believe that something normal happens. Yeah, I prayed for something, God gave me that thing, and it's okay, it's normal to happen like this. This is what happened with the 10 lepers, right? The nine of them thought that, we are healed. Woo, yeah, let's go back to our lives. And just one remembered that this gift, his health, was something that he needed to be thankful for. And he went back to Jesus saying, Jesus, thank you for giving back. Many times it happens that we believe the things that we receive are from by default, right? And it's okay to receive them, it's normal to have them, but it's not normal. course, we have the example of Jesus. Even though Jesus was God, right, he was also human at the same time, but did Jesus had any, reason, or did he needed to be thankful for something? Because he was God, right? Did God need to say thank you? What do you think? Some people say no, because he was God, he didn't need to be thankful for something, right? But we have a couple of situations in which Jesus gave thanks. He was grateful. One of them was when he was surrounded by thousands of people and he needed to feed them. Do you remember that situation when a boy came, with 2 fish and 5 breads? And what did Jesus do with them in order to feed that huge amount of people? He gave thanks to the Lord. He asked for the blessing of the food, he gave thanks, and those people were fed. We have another situation in which Jesus was facing some people. Lazarus was dead. He went there. It was kind of late, right? And he prayed for his resurrection, for Lazarus' resurrection, and after that he gave thanks to the Lord. And another situation is when his time was near, his crucifixion was near, when he was with his disciples. And the Bible tells us in Luke chapter 22 that he gave thanks for the bread and he gave thanks for the wine. He knew what he was going to face, what was waiting for him, the cross, a great sacrifice. And even though he was in these difficult situations, tension situations, Jesus managed to overcome them and give thanks to God. How many of us in difficult situations that we face, tension situations, do we think about giving thanks to God? Many times when we are when we are challenged with problems and things that we cannot overcome so easily, we usually do not think about giving thanks to God, right? Oh God, thank you for passing me through this difficult situation. Do we do so? Usually we ask God to take that situation away from us, to help us overcome the situation. We're not usually thankful for the situation. We have in Jesus an example of righteous living, an example of how we should express our gratitude, our thankfulness to our God. If you look in the Bible, in the Gospel of Luke chapter 22, as I mentioned, when Jesus institutes the Lord's Supper, he says, then he took the cup and gave thanks, and after that he took the bread and gave thanks. This thanks, this word thank you, if you look in the Greek version, it says Alexander Eucharisteo, right? Translated means thanks, to give thanks. It's interesting, right? Because the Lord's Supper, it's an occasion in which we are thankful for something. We give thanks to the Lord. We are grateful for what He did and does for each one of us. So through the Gospels and through this situation in this passage in the Luke chapter 22, we see that Jesus is being grateful. He gives thanks for what's happening. As Christians, as people who are waiting for something good to happen, there should be more thankful. We should show more gratitude towards God's blessings. As I mentioned before, this event, a special occasion that we celebrate Thanksgiving Day and also celebrate the Lord's Supper, We have here the symbols of wine and bread. We should think of our way of living, the way we express our gratitude, and the feelings that we are grateful for. Jesus was grateful. He gave thanks, even though he found himself in difficult situations, even though he faced something that maybe neither of us will face. Even though he was in those situations, he found the strength to give thanks. And if he could do that, then we can also do it. And we should not be thankful only when something good happens to us. Sometimes we are thankful when there is Thanksgiving Day, right? Oh, it's an occasion to be thankful for something, to be grateful. Yay, yes, I'm grateful. And we start to number our reasons why we are grateful. Big things. But this kind of attitude should be shown every day. Not once a year, but every day. Because this is what the Bible tells us. Give thanks for everything. For everything. And I challenge you. I challenge me and I challenge you. To have a life filled with gratitude. A life in which we give thanks to the Lord. And you will see that if we adopt this kind of attitude, our lives will change. Because when we are grateful for something, and we see the good in the situations that we face, then our perspective will change. Our attitude towards the events, the challenges that we face will change. And we will have a different perspective. Maybe some of you will say, oh, come on, Pastor. How can I be thankful and grateful when there is a war in Ukraine, right? How can I be thankful and grateful when I'm sick? How can I be grateful when I face so many challenges and God doesn't answer my prayers? Even though we are in such situations, we are called to be grateful and to give thanks for everything. Everything? Yes.